My name is Sarah.
And my name is Sharon, and welcome back to Cake Dealers KE, where we bake and tell.
So today we are covering the topic of unpopular opinions about the baking industry. Yeah. And you might agree with us or choose to disagree with us. You'll just
but it's just our opinions.
Just our opinions.
They don't matter as much. Yeah.
Yes,
so
yes.
It's
not that deep. It's not that deep, people. So yes. So Sharon, what will you start us with?
What we will start with, maybe I would like you guys to engage on the comment section. So make sure you share also your unpopular opinions or your opinions in the baking industry. Feel free to share and don't get agitated with whatever we
are going to say.
Yeah, sawa. Okay, so my first unpopular opinion or my dilemma or a question is, do you think fondant is overrated?
Where I'm sitting, okay, in my season, right now in my season, I don't think it is. But if you had asked me that question 1 year ago, I would have said it's too overrated.
For me, I feel like people who say fondant is overrated do not know how to do fondant cakes.
It is very true.
It is true.
It is very true.
Yeah.
But I guess also it's because maybe it gives them a hard time.
Because I feel like if there's someone who does, and in the comments, if you do fondant cakes and you dislike fondant cakes, let me know.
Yes.
But for me, I do fondant cakes, I do cream cakes, and I don't hate fondant cakes. They have their time to shine. There are times that a cream cake won't perfectly fit for a certain design.
Yes.
So because I know how to do both, I don't hate it. I know when to use it, and so I feel like everyone who says fondant is overrated,
they don't know how to make fondant. But I feel like because me, I'm from that category.
So I'm saying the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hated fondant because of how it made my work so hard. And it's because I didn't know how to. Looking back, right now I know how to do fondant very well. And it's because after I went for a master class, I got to know how to handle fondant pretty well. So I feel like now even doing so many cakes, fondant cakes, I don't have the pressure that I used to have before. Right now, even if I mess on a fondant cake, I don't panic. I'm just okay. So how can I fix this?
Exactly.
Because I even remember there's one time Binti Mohammed said that she's holding a class, and then I went on her comment section. It was a fondant class, and I told her, I wish I could come to the class, but I don't like fondant. And she was like, it is not a matter of you liking fondant or not. It's just some designs you just need to know fondant because of some designs.
Yeah.
At that point I felt like ameongea vibaya, but there's a specific kitu aliniambia and I was like, guy yake ameongea vibaya, but now I understand. Sometimes even bakers who make fondant cakes, if you ask them for their birthday cakes, they wouldn't make fondant, right?
I wouldn't.
You make cream cakes.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just that it gives you either a hard time, you don't know how to deal with fondant, that's why you hate it, because the pressure that remember that if you had told me you want a fondant
But if you've never done fondant cakes, why would you have pressure over something you don't know? I don't know if people see it like a lot of work. Like most of the people who hate fondant is because they don't know how to make fondant or work with fondant. But why would you hate on something that you haven't tried?
See, because I can't. So the only option, because I don't want to learn it, I just choose to hate.
Just the same way as you learned cream cakes, just learn fondant. And there's a time I was saying on my social media, or I don't know, I posted something, and I was just like, if you hate fondant, probably learn how to make it and use it. And then it's important to know these skills. If you're in business, you can't. It's good to have exactly, so that you have an option. Like for instance, I had a cake order recently, and it needed that weekend I was so busy. I think it was the weekend for Cake and Sip. I can't remember very well, but it was a very busy weekend, and the client wanted witch legs. I actually wanted someone to make for me the fondant toppers, the ladies who make fondant toppers in the market. So I told them, and they were also busy. And can you imagine if I didn't know how to make them?
Yeah.
I think you saw me posting that. If I didn't know how to make them, I'd have that would be the worst day of my life. Maybe I'd have made paper topper and the cake had fondant toppers. So you see, if you know how to learn how to make something, so that equal choice that I want to do fondant or I don't want to do the fondant toppers or the so it's important to. So for me, I don't think it's overrated. It's not overrated.
But also, I guess pear fondant, as we said in the previous episode, it is where the money lies.
Yeah.
Fondant pays well compared to cream cakes.
Yeah.
But and then I feel like, I don't know, these days I love fondant anyway. I'm praying for more weddings.
And also there are cakes that really come out well. Even cartoon cakes. There are kids' character cakes that won't come out as nice with cream cakes if it was fondant. I don't know if you understand me.
Yeah.
Like ingekuwa fondant, the details are usually, because they are fully edible fondant cake. You can't compare it to anything. So it's good to, so we've agreed.
Yeah.
It's not overrated.
For us, it's not overrated. So you will tell us. But also again, with this time, as there's a rise of cream cakes and buttercream cakes. So also, I feel like even those people who used to do fondant a long time ago, right now they usually say like, things are so easy.
Yeah.
As I said, somebody said, I did an Itara wedding, and so Itara cake. Itara is where by the male familia ya kijana wanakujaka kwa familia ya msichana. No, msichana. Sorry. The lady's family, they go to the guy's family to see where their daughter, so anakwanga introduced, like this is a sitting room, this is, because now the lady will go to that family. So I did that wedding, that cake. I don't know why I'm saying it's a wedding cake, but it felt like a wedding cake. So there's one baker who is very pro in doing those fondant cakes, and when she came to that table, she didn't know I'm the baker, so she was like, "Kiki ni rahisi, it is very easy." And I had done orange, and it's like a sunset.
Actually, I think we should put that photo here. So that people can see. And can you imagine ni rahisi?
It's actually cream cake.
Whipped cream.
It's cream cake.
I didn't know it was cream cake until you said, I thought it was fondant.
It is cream cake, and you see now for me, I really love doing cream cakes for those weddings and nini, but also right now I don't mind fondant. But you see now, for her, because she loves fondant, she's hating on the cream cake. Yeah. So she's like, ini rahisi, and all that.
Until it's time for her
and
to
funny thing, sorry to say, but her cream cakes are not good. The finishing is not nice. So I feel like even with that rise of buttercream cakes and whipping cream cakes, I think that is why people choose this is an easier, because anyway, whipping cream is easy. Yeah. Even kwa mkono, it's ricey compared to fondant to turn it. And I don't know if it's the weather.
Actually, I feel like my hand is affected. I have an issue with my wrist, which I need to see a doctor because needing fondant.
Mimi juzi nilitengeneza fondant, and then ikakuwa nile ukistore ukitoanisha inachana, and I don't know why it happened. Let me tell you, sinili need your fondant. Sinili need. But that is why I think people just don't. And also people have terrible recipes of fondant. Because my fondant cake can stay in the fridge. My fondant cake can withstand the weather, whether hot or cold. And I feel like
it's easy to work with the fondant.
Yes.
And another trick is just to make fondant a few days ahead, like a day.
Yeah, it needs to rest. Yeah. For me, I know my fondant needs to rest. So I think the second one is this I know it will need some people.
Star people.
Yes. Do you think bakers should charge for cake tasting?
Without a doubt, yes.
Absolutely, right?
And ingredients and time is not free.
True. And I don't know why people usually, especially people who are coming from ile enzi ya kitambo, when they are saizi wakikuja, mimi what experience, it's either the stands, they usually tell you, why are you charging us like the stands? And because me, I usually write, I will charge you the stands, the cutlery, the cake manning, so naekanga pamoja, and then I put the price. But there are people who are like, see, those the cake ladies, they weren't supposed to come with the stands.
But see, you invested in that thing for beautifying.
And mind you, when you go with a stand, okay, then a stand for your venue. You do know, for the event, do you know you have to stay there the whole day?
You have to. Even your cutlery, you have to take care of your cutlery and.
Because the kikwachia wewe, they will get lost without it. Because where it's your big day, you're not even concentrating.
Exactly. And you won't be able to, like, let's say, ati nikweke 10,000 refundable fee. Will you concentrate on your wedding, or will you concentrate on taking care of the stands? So there are pesa zingine you just pay for the convenience. Sometimes pay for the convenience.
Yeah.
You know.
Ama you do the way Sharon does. Yeah, and including cake tasting kwa your quotation.
So you come for cake tasting after you've already booked with me.
Yeah.
Because in case of anything, kama hautapenda, then we will know from there. Maybe I can refund you the deposit that you had made. But for me, cake tasting is already included in the deposit, in the whole amount. So when I send you a quotation, it's already included with the deposit. Yeah, so if you want to pay the deposit, you come for cake tasting. In case useme sijapenda keki, I will return the deposit, you'll find somewhere else, but it's just, and I'll subtract the cake tasting amount.
Do I also feel like cake tasting,
because imagine you buy butter,
all those things, and you know cake tasting people when they come, Mimi, first of all, I give people milk, water. It's milk, water. Kitambo used to do juice, but I realized juice doesn't make sense.
You told me about milk. I started using warm milk actually.
Yes. So you ask people, me, I usually ask them, do you want cold milk, hot milk? Some people even prefer tea. So that, sasa imagine you may invest here, you may invest pia kuwekelea hizo venye inakuanga expensive. Because you're cutting, like me, because I usually do it in a square tin. Most of the time you will end up with more cake because I cracked the code.
But what I would suggest, I think I will get small square tins.
Yes.
But otherwise, for me, I bake in Love Hearts small tins, 2 of each flavor. So you just put. I never have extras.
But me love it when I see the layers. The way you cut a cake and then you see layers, and then you see.
I know it's really attractive. But unless you are able to sell the remaining one,
I usually see Nani doing it on. Is it cupcakes? There's a certain lady in the US. She does a lot of cake tasting. There's a way she does it. It's just nakatanga. But
actually, I've seen abroad they have time for cake tasting. If you want to book with her, you wait for her cake tasting season. She sends out boxes. But you have to pay for cake tasting.
And also again, when I started, I remember I used to give something. I never used to know what goes into cake tasting, especially for birthday cakes. So because me, I don't have like a shop where people will come and have the slices and they taste. So what happens, I used to give away a lot. So like unapeana cupcakes, and then you find una bring in people who are unserious people. Because now they know that at the end of the day, lazima mintakula keki na sitalipa kitu. But when you start charging, even up to date, if somebody wants, especially for birthday cakes, I usually tell them there's an option of 6 cupcakes, and it's usually on weekends, because on weekends I have so many flavors. So if you want 6 cupcakes, as in you can taste, and then you give me the feedback about 12 cupcakes. So
and it just reminded me there's a time. I don't know, some wedding committees are usually very unreasonable. And I know some of you will agree. Like when I get a bride inquiry and they have a committee, you just cross hands and pray that it's a
reasonable committee. You have reminded me a lot.
Let me tell you, that committee, what they wanted. There were 6 head of committees and they all wanted a whole cake for cake tasting. Wakimaliza cake test, na sayo hataki charge cake testing. Because wanakuletea.
Kwanza hiyo bei unalipisha 80,000 na mimi tunakuletea biashara.
So tufanyie keki moja basi tukikuja cake testing. And I'm just like, and you don't want to pay for cake testing. So it's better mtu akulipe. You see someone who pay. I've never had an issue where someone comes for cake testing and they don't want to book, because most probably if someone wants to work with you, they'll work with you whether they test the cake or not, unless cake zako zikwe mbaya. But of course by the time they come to you,
or even the budget,
they've heard about you, they've tested your cake before, or maybe the budget. But once mtu amelipa deposit, they can just for me cake testing mostly is to pick the flavors you want.
Na hata utasikia vibaya huo mtu akikusipa kuchagua na umefanya cake testing
subtract ya cake testing and I refund the deposit.
Because I remember
just to reduce on
not so long ago there's this client who is always my client, and then I was like, because she's my client, haizi kosa kunipea keki ya harusi, so I sent hiyo siku ndio utu punet zilikuwa zimekuja, nikatumana punet. Do you know she didn't give me the order
for free?
Yani iliniuma
Maria mwema.
And I was just like, see, she's my client, why didn't she give me the cake nini? But I guess it's because of the budget and everything. So nikalan to heri nisikiange sitasikia vibaya as long as nimepata.
Exactly.
So I feel like that is, I don't know. Because there is a wedding committee. When you mention wedding committee, me there's a wedding committee. I remember they came to my place 4 times.
Because I'm can we come on Thursday and see the progress? And I'm just like, why?
Mimi nakwambia walikuja ndio.
Na wanakuja wengi.
Walikuja ndio kufanya rehearsal ya kukata keki. And you see,
wakakata keki ama
walikuwa wanajifanya sawa nakata keki. In my studio, I was so disturbed. I was so disturbed. And you see, this is someone who got me from another wedding. So like they saw me set a cake, they approached me, but the bride and the groom, they have no problem. Now it's these other people, especially the committee, ndio wanataka kukuja nini. And let me tell you, you know, on the D-Day, the wedding day, even all those things they were practicing didn't happen because time. And sasa tukakata kwa giza. Ile ndio hiyo harusi yenye nilikuwa I wanted to beat children because they were coming around and all that, but anyway. So yeah,
we've agreed you charge for cake tasting. Yeah. So the other dilemma that we have is a client. Do you think clients are too entitled?
Hey, yes.
So for me, it depends. It depends with the circumstance. Sometimes it depends with in what way are they entitled, and then what are the circumstances, but not all the time. Yeah.
Okay, that is true, but I guess it's just that, you see, as human beings, I don't know why, we tend to concentrate on the bad things and not the good things. I have good clients, to be honest, and I feel like people even think I usually have bad clients all the time, but I have good clients. But it's just these clients that wanani
the one-off clients.
But then I feel like sometimes they're usually too entitled. Ziles are like, I remember
especially last-minute orders, or the ones with very have unrealistic expectations. Exactly. You know, like the one you sent me, the client wanted an AI cake,
and then she's like, it's easy.
That is what I want, and it's an AI image.
I told her, this is AI. It's impossible to do this. And then she's like, but it is doable. I'm like, are you a baker to know it is doable? Are you? Because ilikuwa na nini you?
Gari.
Ilikuwa na gari.
Gari yenye
that is
you
what?
You can't even find it easily.
Yes. So I was, anyway.
And for me, when I get such clients who send me AI photos, what I usually just tell them is, this is an AI generated image. I will try, but it won't be exactly the same. So you go online and find photos. Maybe she sent you a Spider-Man cake. Just look for a Spider-Man cake and send ideas. Sometimes it's just that they don't understand. You can send them other ideas.
Kuna huyo mwenye unaweza uliza, just the way Mothoni has said, sometimes you can notice kuna client utasumbuana from the onset. So kuna ule mwenye hata utasumbuana kumwambia can send you other designs ama other options. Like her, uliona mwenye aliandika, this is what I want.
Yeah, this is what I want. It's doable,
and it's very doable.
And she's not the baker.
So you wonder if in the next life or the previous life,
expectations that are very. It's good to have expectations, especially if I've seen the work you do. It's okay to have expectations, but also understand that this baker is also human. There are things that they can do, there are things that they cannot do. So sometimes it depends on the entitlement, and it doesn't mean that sasa juu nimekulipa unaweza nitengenezea keki ina fly, you know.
And you see, I feel like even when it comes to entitlement, it comes also with payment or discounts. You see, there's a lady, I remember she had ordered a cake from me, and she had ordered it was one cake during the weekdays and then 2 cakes for the son. These are weekend. And so she had ordered, like, it was 2 kg, then 3.5. So it was like, unaona cake yenyewe, you can give this back. Me, it's my policy. I don't give discounts. What I will do, I'll give you cupcakes. That is my policy. So because I know cake batter sitakosa cupcakes. Hata saizi niko na cupcakes. So I just told her I'll give you cupcakes. So then as time went by, akasema now we don't do 3 cakes, we do 2 cakes. So one was 2 and another one was 1. So I was like, okay. So then I was like, I didn't feel like now unataka kudeli una feel enyo mtu ameni promote sasa acha nipe cupcakes. I didn't, and also I forgot even about the cupcakes. So she was like, when she alipelekewa keki, she was like, you lied to me that you'll give me cupcakes nini. I was not the one who delivered the cake, but she told the person who alipeana. So I was like,
but we had an agreement.
you had ordered, you know, as a large, you know, anyway. But then also again, I feel like even for the discounts that these people wanatakanga, unaona nini, wakienda Valentine Cake House,
hawatataka
discounts.
Yeah, you want to negotiate discounts that you wouldn't have negotiated anywhere else.
Yes.
Just because you know probably I'm a home baker or I bake from somewhere, like maybe see a corporate per se.
In fact, it is way better, Sharon, to even give someone a discount. Wewe mwenyewe umejione, umesema new client, ameni support, amenifanya. Like there's this year, I'm planning to do like you see the cake tasting boxes. I want to do cake tasting for my loyal clients. So they will pay, but if it's somebody mwenye, see it's not my loyal clients, maybe ni charge 3,500, my clients, my loyal ones, ndawalipisha 2K. That is what I want to do this year, to appreciate those people who have been with me for
supporting you, say,
you know, like in a year hawangekosa. Hata kuna mtu mwenye unapata like tumekane mtoto tangu ameza baby shower,
mpaka mtu wako 6 years and you have been making their cakes.
So I feel like wacha mimi it come from me that I want to give you a discount, but si wewe uitishe discount. Ama pia saa zingine you can, especially if you see like you have given a big, but isikuwe ile ni kama you are entitled to it, because at the end of the day pia yo now me telling you it's
like when the supermarket wants kuitisha discount, like just take every business as important as the next business, you know. If you cannot negotiate kwa supermarket, usinegotiate kwa just a normal home baker mwenye anang'ang'ana kugrow, you know. Hiyo pesa yenye unamtolea hapo probably hata ndio ilikuwa profit yake.
Actually, even think in Kenya, people don't, I don't know, I've seen in the US people thinking that customized cakes are cheap. In Kenya, I don't think there's such people. You have found custom made cakes, zile zenye you have to,
you know, I feel like in abroad kuna the normal cakes and then the customized cakes. So customized cakes, they are really expensive. Huku Kenya, I don't think they know that those are customized cakes. They just know they're cakes.
Yeah.
So to them inafaa ikwe bei yenye wanataka.
But also again, sometimes when you do something, kama leo Ablanta, so there's a client mwenye aliniitisha keki last minute and I had cakes. So me I usually bake my cakes early. So akaniambia kuna cake unaweza, and it was for the next day. So I just told her niko na hii flavor, unaweza taka hii flavor. Na ilikuwa client mwingine. So nikamtengenezea haraka akachukua within like 30 minutes. Akachukua keki. So now today that client ananiambia anataka keki in the evening, and I was like it's impossible. And akona zile za like, but last time ulinitengeneza. So even when you're doing the last minute, you need to tell them I don't do this. It's just that
just this one off.
Yeah.
So the other dilemma is social media helping or hurting bakers? Helping. For me, it's helping 100%.
Yeah, I feel like it depends also with the person. As unaona consistency, ukikuwa consistent kwa any social media, lazima ita pay off. Apart from Instagram.
Instagram,
it is not.
Instagram needs to tell us what we need to do. Hey, Instagram. I have a video that went viral on TikTok. Almost 500k views, but Instagram it's 200 views. And that is good for Instagram. Because it should be even 50.
Yes.
I don't know where Instagram is just another.
But social media is actually helping bakers. Not unless you are a baker who utaki to grow.
I feel like the issue is the pressure that now you just wanted to bake cakes, but now you have to be a content creator. You have to be a marketer. You have to brand. You have to make sales. I think there is where the issue comes in, but it's necessary pressure.
Yeah.
For me, what I would say is, for me, I think I have built 100% on social media. Because currently, where I am, I'm not a front shop. And when I opened here, I didn't open it depending on walk-ins. So, you see, some people ask me like, kuna watu unatoa wapi orders, and I'm just like, it's online. Mtu anakuona umefunguka, anaona huyu mbona anafungua place ya keki huku nyuma, but I'm just like, I know bidii nimeweka mpaka mahali umefika, you know that even without walk-ins you're able to still stay open.
Yeah.
So for me, I think social media hasn't hurt us. It's just another trajectory that we need to also invest in and follow to grow your business.
But you see, now the problem is sometimes you may end up concentrating so much on social media, then you forget to have a business to run. There are people who are like that. But also I feel like anyway, social media me personally, even when doing because TikTok, when you're doing most cakes, usually find kama the one that I did your Bible, I just googled really searched to pale kwa TikTok, you can pair options, and I was like, I don't feel like doing the rectangle one, let me just do the
square and
the round one,
and
then I cut, then I flip, and it was like, okay, at least may work. So next time I'll do another one. So
and also the other thing that I think people nowadays online, they see like baking is easy. When my students come to my class, just because they see akina venye unafanya rahisi inakaa rahisi, ukimpea cream
kwanza ukiscrape hivi
ana scrape kila kitu,
and they actually forget kama mimi there is a video I'm really trying to edit na imenishinda hadi ni a student. I recorded almost everything, so it's like a 14-minute video, and I'm like, each and everything lazima ikona sababu yake kwa nini hapo. So I'm really trying to squeeze tena, najaribu kuharakisha nini badala nikiharakisha, so ndio unapata like ninaweza weka content yenye nimefanya for a whole week in only 3-minute video.
3 minutes,
so people will think that's ni rahisi, but it is not.
It's not actually. Even learning how to edit online is not easy. It's a lot of practice, a lot of trial and error. It's not ati mimi niliamka kama najua kutumia CapCut. You just go on CapCut and learn on the job there. Unless probably you pay for a editing class. But some of these things,
but there are people
who
can you bakers we have, because there are people, I know there are bakers who have gone for a photography class just so as they can do good photos for their cakes.
Photography is so easy, guys. Let me just tell you, the same way as mkienda kupiga picha mkiwa ushago Christmas Day, you will face the light. Hamtaenda sun iko nyuma yenu. That is the code of photography for me with my cakes. Light should be in front of my cake so that all the shadows are at the back, and that's it.
Yeah.
So whenever you're taking photos, just make sure you are where all the shadow ya hiyo keki iko nyuma ya keki. If you do that, you'll never have bad photos. And then just have consistent backgrounds.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, okay.
Hakuna class itakufunza. And then photography class will be very complicated. Huwezi enda kwa photographer na unataka kutumia simu. Because his photos and your photos won't be the same,
But I feel like there are people who have invested. There are makers who have the cameras. They have like a whole studio. Your picture, that is their studio.
But you can always use just a good phone and a good camera. And remember the rule: shadow behind the cake. Ni ukweli our editors wamekubali, wamesema yes, shadow behind, you're okay.
Anyway, so the fifth dilemma, are bakers underpricing themselves?
Yes, especially wale wanakudanganya online, nitumie price list yako, kumbe alafu anatoa kitu hapo anaweka yake. You don't know, maybe me I'm buying eggs 200, or I have eggs. I have chicken. I have chicken, I don't pay for eggs. Unachukua yangu. Maybe I have someone who brings for me butter. You think or maybe I'm using
you married well.
Yes. So me, my stock is free.
Yes.
You're using my price.
Yes.
Guys, sit down, know how much you're buying your eggs, your prestige, everything to the T. Then decide on what you're going to pay yourself. I think
what you can do even, me remember when I started, I went to Valentine Cake House price list, nikaiangalia, and then I was now, after that, I did my mathematics. Sasa nilikuwa naona hii yangu na compare na hii, naona okay, you compare just so as you know, maybe you're not underpricing, uangalie tu hivyo. But see you copy, juu mtu anafanya nini, I feel like people are actually, unaona zile keki za 1 kg 1000.
Wachana na kuna mwingine wa TikTok 3 kilos 2500. Atuambie tu.
Nimechoka on their behalf.
Tumulete hapa tuambie.
Anafanya
the amemadi right. Stock yake ni free. Anauzaje 3 kg 2000? 1 kg sijui 1200 and imejaa toppers.
Mimi I'm even, actually I know right now I'm underpricing. I know for a fact
I think it's guilt. Maybe probably the guilt of raising prices. Hata me have really.
But sasa itafika point. Itabidi tu umeongeza juu sasa hauna option. If you start thinking of taxes, if you start thinking of the situation. Hey, my friend.
And hata me I'm saving for raising money because at the end of the day we need to grow, and part of growth is paying taxes.
But also I guess people are very. Remember me when I was. Because my 1 kg kitambo in 2020 used to be 1,700. Then it went to 2,200 and 2K, then 2,200. So just as I got 2,500. When I was doing the 17 to 2,000, let me tell you, it was somebody who told me, by the way, stop usishtuke ati watu watakuja masijui nini. If it's your client, kama ni client wako na appreciate your growth. Hata yeye mwenyewe anajua sasa akienda anaenda kwa supermarket anaona kinyi nilikuwa nanunua nao 1,000, sasa ninunua nao, you know. So even in the market, you know.
I just had a conversation with a client recently. So I was going over kuangalia when last did she order, because she was complaining about something, and I just nilikuwa na was there 2 kg 3,700. I was like, hey, good old time.
I know. And you used to make profit.
Yeah.
But we used to make profit.
Yeah, it was before the
because Prestige Kitambo, if you remember, Prestige Kitambo was 1,750 10 kgs. Saizi,
it was those days.
Yeah, saizi ni
28.
20. And so it's time reduce.
Supermarket ni 4,000.
Ilifikanga 3,500, ikaanza sasa ku reduce tena to 2,800. So of course I can't still charge you the same amount.
Yeah.
So please, ebu understand pricing. Ama uende class ya pricing, do understand pia unatakana uweke wear and tear, unatakana ukumbuke sijui.
And do you think we should reduce our prices because of customers' budget?
No.
Yeah.
I feel like what you should do, you should give them options. Zenye zikona. Kama sema somebody really wants a bento cake, I can give you an option of a cupcakes, which are cheaper. Ama somebody wants unaona mtu anataka 2 kg, but hata ajui hiyo nini yake ya 2 kg. Maybe anafikiria 2 kg inaweza feed watu 12. So unamwambia pana 1 kg can also feed 12 people. Hivyo. But don't
always give them an option. Ukikwambia mimi my budget is this amount, for this amount you can get this.
Usinikumbushe kwa mtu nilipea discount
akakusumbua.
Hapana, it's a lady, and I learned the hard way, by the way. She ordered a wedding cake, and then a rurashio cake, and then she kept insisting, I'll give you the wedding cake, I'll give you I'll insist from the onset. Ndakupea hata hiyo sita bargain juu hiyo ni kina kijana wanalipa. Did I see the wedding cake? Nilioneanga.
Umeitoa thousands and thousands.
Nilionea view sasa and even my sister was telling me, are you sure I'm like, oh, maybe, I don't know. But I learned my lesson. Me, I will not reduce because you're giving me a wedding cake. Me, not unless unanipea deposit as well.
Okay, true.
Ndio nikumbuke.
Yeah,
but
what are the impacts of underpricing? Me think underpricing.
Give up na hiyo biashara.
Sure. Alafu pia it won't sustain your business. Uta give up. And also utakuwa tu na burnout.
Wewe ndio utakwanga una complain huko kwa social media, baking haipeani, haina pesa. Bakers wenye wana grow, ajue penye wanatoanga pesa. Utaanza kusema watu ni cult. Kwa sababu you are underpricing. Yeah. So I think itakupea burnout by the mapema.
Exactly. So we can go on the next one. I think here now we can just talk about agreeing and disagreeing on
certain concepts. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So I will start with cupcakes. Do you think cupcakes are outdated?
No, I love cupcakes.
I feel like 50-50.
I love cupcakes.
I don't like cupcakes, by the way.
I do.
I rarely get orders for cupcakes.
You see, this is exactly what we were saying about fondant. Now, the main reason as to why you
I do make cupcakes,
but not a lot.
Exactly. Yes. Sorry.
So me, you know why I love cupcakes? Because you will find that
because you make every cake
has a cupcake. So now it is a benefit for me. I'm not planning to even sell those cupcakes because at the end of the day kama sitaziuza watu watakula home. So kama mtu sasa ataniambia nataka cupcakes na niko nazo sina mpea, siingi jikoni.
I rarely get hizo random cupcake orders. I think because I already have the bento box cake, so mtu atataka cupcakes na bento, of which I just use the same batter.
But maybe I love cupcakes.
So I don't know, they're not outdated because they really come in handy for this.
Na pia cupcakes are good when you have kwanza for money. Ukipata like cupcakes zile za events. Ukipata mingi. I remember there's one time nilipata 100 and something. Niliambiwa 100 cupcakes and something, and one cupcake nkwanauza so oh my god.
I also did that for customer service for about like 200 cupcakes, and then theirs were themed, and it's good money. Cupcakes is good money.
When you have
charge like 120 for corporate
because it has now the edible print. If you
so I don't think, like, we agree they're not outdated. The next one, home bakers are more creative than commercial bakers. They
don't come for her. Do not. But it's very true.
You can get customized cakes with a home baker, but you cannot go to Naivas and tell them you want.
Utaka Sophia the first. Kama mwingine
anataka in fact kwa mega hiyo kwa hapo hiyo ndo utapata. Labda wewe ndo ununue mapicha uwekele.
But it's true. Yeah. And they're more okay. See, I don't think we will say they're more creative.
I know there are some.
It's just that so commercial, they have to look at the profit margin
quantity.
Sasa au wanaangalia hata labda 2 bob. Sasa wewe home baker una hiyo unataka ufanye mtu vizuri nini. So
hata sometimes nowadays they really try, but you can still see that it's not as perfect as if someone, a home baker or someone who has their own cake studio, would do it for you. So you tuna agree.
Home bakers. Wedding cakes are overpriced. This is something people watu understanding kwa nini hawatatumia the same price list ya birthday na wedding cakes. People need to understand. Wedding cakes, they are expensive because number one, wedding cake ni concentrate fully. Unajua birthday cakes si serious sana kama wedding cake. It's your big day.
Wedding cake, the preparations. It takes a lot of work and planning and time and
saa zingine like a birthday cake can be a 2-tiered birthday cake, iko na feelings, iko na hizo vitu zote, but sita stress sana kama wedding cake. Juu ikisimama ninajiuliza hizo feelings zitatoka. Ninajiuliza zitasasa kama mimi wedding fondant cakes I do hata wewe you do them mapema. So you have to think kama zinazifanya mapema siwezi eka feeling. So nitaenda kuweka feelings zingine zenye zinakanga longa like chocolate ganache preservatives. So I feel like you have to really understand why wedding cakes are expensive, and also sometimes you go out of your way to make sure kama cake manning. Cake manning, you have to stay there the whole day.
Umekaa tu hivi kwa harusi ya watu, you can't even engage.
Hata ujibandi by the way.
Exactly. Alafu the planning, like for me, I make my own flowers for cakes.
Imagine.
That is like 2 weeks before. You start making flowers, and every single day of those 2 weeks, almost the whole day, almost 5, 6, even 12 hours unatengeneza flowers azikauke, uzijoin, uziweke, uanze cake.
Even
fondant
wachana na fondant, twende tuota kwa whipping cream. I remember there's one lady who told me, because she was explaining to me, hii keki utokoshuta kwa poa. I was like, it's easy because it's whipping cream. Ile ni watu walisema inakaa coffee. That it was easy, and then she was like, now why are you charging us expensive and it is easy? I'm like, there's creativity there. There's a lot. Kwanza, wedding cakes, lazima ubake kitu kama Wednesday, kama it's whipping cream, bake on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday you do zinaitangwaje hizi za birthday cakes. Friday ndio sasa kama ni whipping cream ndio ufanye sasa, na you will end up finding unalalata 3 kama especially kama unajua Sharon ya lalangi
9 p.m. I'm in bed.
But I feel like hata ikwe whipping cream, hata ikwe 3-tier, hiyo keki it needs a lot of yani kaleka unakabembeleza kama unabembeleza.
Because I remember when I did my first whipping cream wedding cake, it still took me time because in a wedding cake you want perfection, so working on it is also very intricate. It's just like fondant. The only difference to ni cream unapaka
na una make sure make up a birthday cake. Siangaliange sirudingi nyuma na angaleka kwa neka ile nitangwa nini kaleka kitu kama
hata mimi stumiangi spirit level. I never use it during birthday cake, but
wedding unarudi hadi nyuma unaangalia juu unajua tu ikiinama kidogo the whole thing gone.
Yeah.
So you have to be very nini. So unatulipa kwa hizo uto to kukua very to take special care.
And that is like a whole week of for me if I'm doing fondant cakes for weddings. Let's say Monday I make buttercream fondant. Tuesday I bake the cakes. Wednesday I cover the cakes. Thursday unafanya the detailing. Friday you work on birthday cakes. Saturday you deliver the cakes. Because if you cannot plan yourself, I can't do it.
And I don't know why there are people who usually say that, like, maybe they're not fresh cakes because they are baked on Tuesday.
In fact, what people should learn is the more cakes stay, the more they develop flavor.
Yes.
Nikikubekia keki ya Friday na nikupe keki yenye nimetengeneza Monday, sometimes you won't even know the difference, and sometimes you'll feel one is more infused with flavor, especially kama umedrizzolea fruit juice and everything. Those things take time to develop. They are even flavorful than freshly made cakes, and they still remain moist. Because for me, I wrap my cakes in cling film when they're still hot.
Yes.
So hazipoi, they don't evaporate. The moisture doesn't evaporate. It stays in the cake. So when the cake goes back to room temperature, your cakes are very moist. So it doesn't matter that cake you bake Monday or Friday. I have clients afadhali wakupe last minute order.
Ndio asi.
Lakini akupe keki atitaki keki yake ikae kwa fridge. But I have clients.
Na unajua actually ni realize mimi nilianza kuweka keki kwa fridge. Like kama ni keki za Saturday nita bake Thursday jioni zikae kwa fridge Friday. Usiku ni decorate Friday. I realized unajua hata inaipanga height because nikianza kudecorate hiyo keki sahi
matafinyana
hivi but ikiwa kwa fridge it gives you like even it's easy for you to
work with. Yeah,
it's very nice.
Okay, so to understand, pay for wedding cakes. And then do you think bakers should keep a recipe?
Absolutely.
To an extent?
Not to an extent, absolutely. If you want my recipe, come for my class.
Yeah.
I am not giving out.
And I don't like those people who, you'll give me your recipe, you've tested something of mine, and then immediately you're just like, you'll give me your recipe. I feel like try.
Yeah.
Go and look for, let's say, lemon curd. Fanya lemon curd. Niambie, hii lemon curd nimetengeneza, but iko na hii taste. I feel like it's something. Then I can bring you, nikulete karibu sasa, nikuambie, probably do this. I give you tips and tricks, and you will treasure that recipe even more because it is your own recipe that, even though you got it online, but the two things I gave you to improve that recipe. You will treasure that recipe yenye umepewa tu. Just a random recipe nakupea. Keki yako ya recipe. Shika. You won't care about that recipe, but something that you built and worked on and improved, you'll treasure it a lot. So it's not always, I don't
recipes missing takangi hata upeane.
And I don't feel it's courteous. I don't think we've shared a recipe unless the recipe you've shared with me is something that is already in public. The fruit cake. But otherwise we rarely share recipes amongst. Mimi nitampigia nimwambie, "We, hii ganache yangu kwani yako unatumianga ratio gani kwa sababu yangu imekataa." That is how it's courteous actually for you to ask something when Sally umeshindwa kabisa. But just because she's my friend, I really loved your passion card. I rarely do passion card.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, but for me, if I do the one with gelatin in a hakama jelly, which is still okay. People like it. And if I want to do a passion card, I would do it. I would try and do it. Nikishindwa ndo nikuulize Sarah, how do you do it? But there's no way nitambia Sarah, hebu nitumie sasa recipe. Ili imagine tunashindanga tu nitumie recipe. It's not.
Kuna ule mtoto unaona tu ana take advantage of you. Anataka tu recipe na nini. And I feel like bakers should not gatekeep is information such as where did you get your board? Where did you get
where do you buy this?
Where do you buy this thing? Where did you get your oven? What?
Kwa sababu hata nikigatekeep sitanunua hizo oven zote.
Exactly. Those are things I feel like you wezi gatekeep. Lakini sasa hizo recipes maybe mtu amewaka, you need to. Hata siku na recipes zinashindanga kwa family. Hata mwezi enda waambie mtu wa KFC akupe recipe ya nani? Na ama upeane sijui recipe ya soda ama sijui nini. No.
Yeah. So like for me the recipe yangu ya cake is very simple, but I've worked on that recipe. I've tweaked it mpaka sometimes I give my assistant ananiambia nitengeneze 5 kg. I'm just like how, and nikimwambia out of my, and she's just like it's on your head, like all that is in your head because yani umeizoea, umeifanya, umeimprove, umeongeza hii, you've already owned it. And let me tell you, it's really good, and it feels even nice if you have your own recipe.
It's very important. So I feel like those are the unpopular opinions. Do you have any other unpopular ones?
Unpopular, let me see.
About cakes. I think it's not about cakes. I don't think we have any dilemmas that we have. Tumezi exhaust zote. And so what I feel like if we tukiingia kwa now maybe hata si dilemmas, the things that people think about bakers, I think you can think about maybe 2 or 1. Mimi kuna inaniwasha
sema tu.
Yani mtu akiona baker tu hivi ana assume mtu alikuwa drop out, mtu alifanya baking as a hobby,
alikosa vitu za kufanya,
mtu alikosa kazi.
Super, nani alifikiria hivyo about wewe lakini? No,
not really. It's the way clients come to you. The way and then the way they see you handling certain things, they are like, why are you handling like them like that?
Unafaa kwa kienyeji.
Like the way you can,
they don't take it as a real job.
Yes. So the way sometimes you can even be, hi, my name is kama nilikwambia introduction yako ya mtu hata mtu anatamani tu kuorder cake. Unamwambia karibu sana, sijui the prompt message. So mtu maybe ataki hizo terms and conditions. Anashinda terms and conditions is nini? Even squeezy for me wedding cakes, I'm really strict. You have to sign, send it to me, and then pia mimi I sign, and then
start
to answer vizuri hivyo. So I feel like so mtu anashindwa we mbona ama
it's protecting both of us. I might have an issue, it will protect me, you might have an issue, it will protect you. So it's for both of us.
So it's just that people usually get shocked. Like,
they didn't expect. Wanaogopa, they're like, hey, why do you want a contract? What are you going to do?
People will just get shocked here. Sikia Sharon alikuwa anafanyanga kazi fulani ama alisomea kitu fulani but anabake because people usually did the misha and all that, but that is an assumption.
I don't think I have any other assumption.
People love cake. People who bake, they eat cakes. That's why people are fat.
Na mkijua mimi hata sikula. The only time I eat cake is if I'm hungry. Waiting for food to come and then I see cakes that are.
Nakumbuka kuna client alikujanga kwa kanza.
Mimi naona tu kwa mimi na hewa
Atikuwa niuliza.
Guys,
but I didn't feel bad about it anyway because we have always wanted to be fat.
You wanted to be fat.
It's just a story for another day. But when people,
can I share my movie? Because me nataka kukonda. With me, I rarely eat cake. Rarely. But if I eat someone else's cake, I will eat. Like if Sarah brings her cake, I'll devour. Ni kama
juzi nilikula ni hiyo keki nilikuwa hiyo itara. Nilikata ilikuwa chocolate orange na vanilla. And then nikakata hiyo nikaeka kwa tin. Nilikaa chini. Nikakula.
Ilikuwa tamu.
Mpaka sikuimaliza but I rarely
don't eat cakes.
I rarely hata watu uniuliza. Sasa uta complain ndio tena nichukua kale ka cupcake ni taste. Nisikie kama ilikuwa mbaya vile unasema ama those two are I think those are the assumptions people have. I don't know.
Okay. Are we done? I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's hear some of your assumptions and what you agree or disagree in the comments. Please be courteous. It's just our opinion. It's our opinion. It doesn't matter what we think or what we assume. So just be courteous.
And that's why they're called unpopular opinions.
Yes. You can also just add yours in the comment section to check pamoja and we learn from each other, bado. So we hope to see you in our next episode. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.
Umesema bye na tutasema like, share and subscribe.
Okay. We hope to see you in the next episode. Sema hiyo part ya like, share wewe.
Sawa, mtakat. So guys, remember to like, share and subscribe and you can engage with us at the comment section. Na msisahau, we usually also air bado kwa
Spotify.
Yes. Bye.
Tuonane huko. Bye.